Greetings, we are here with Professor Leonard Lane from University of California, Irvine. Sir, welcome to Istanbul, welcome to Future Campus. We are in the second day of Future AI Summit 2024. How did you find the event?
The event has really been both stimulating and insightful. During the course of yesterday and this morning, I've had the opportunity to be exposed to quite a number of elements of artificial intelligence around the ethical and regulatory issues, around where it's going, about what the opportunities are, and what the things we need to worry about in terms of the threat. So it's been a very, very enlightening experience here. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Great to hear that. I have a couple of questions for you.
Certainly.
The first one is that, what are some ethical dilemmas faced by leaders in AI?
Well, the dilemmas are the following. The first one is the word data. And leaders in companies that have the opportunity to use artificial intelligence need to understand the key is data. They tell them in the academic world, they say you have to have good theory and then look for the data. If the theory doesn't work out and you don't have data, you don't have anything. But if you have data, you can build a whole new theory around that. So leaders need to take into account that what you really need to have is data. And then you have to have the ability to understand the power of that data to give you insights into your markets, into your efficiency, basically into the way you run your business. Companies have collected data for years and years, and it's only recently, since the advent of being able to use artificial intelligence and build that into your processes of running your business, then the data begins to sing to you. It starts to tell you a story, and then you have to be able to listen to that story and build on top of that.
So data is the key here.
As we said yesterday, data is the new oil. And you really have to understand how to bring that oil out of the ground, how to process that oil, and how to get the oil to market. That's right.
My second question is that, in your view, what are the key qualities of effective leadership in AI ethics and governance?
Okay. I think it's beyond just AI ethics and governance. So what are the qualities of effective leadership, as I said yesterday, in this turbulent whitewater world that we're going through, a world that is hyper-connected, radically contingent, and fast. It's the world of the whitewater kayaker. So when I think of what are the leadership qualities to navigate through that whitewater, are the same leadership qualities that you need to bring to AI and ethics, because they're just part of the leadership landscape that you're going through. And so those qualities that I look at are, and most people don't think about it this way, you have to have an active imagination. And I think, as I call it, imagination as a muscle. The second thing you have to have is the ability to understand biases. The data brings biases, we bring biases, and you have to look beyond that to get the insight. So imagination, insights, and then I think the third most important thing is to be able to not only listen to the data, but you have to be able to listen to the people that tell you about the data and be able to make that judgment between, are there biases coming with that? And then I finally put that against a set of ethics, which are going to vary by country and vary by industry. But you have to think about what are the sound ethical issues and the sound moral issues that you want to be remembered by when you use that data for whatever purpose that you're going to use that for. And to me, it says I've really got to have a framework that is grounded in a set of ethical principles that will allow me to not only deal with the AI issues, but to navigate through the turbulence of the whitewater.
So the framework is important.
Framework is important, a well-grounded framework that I can point to and say, these are what are important to me, and these are what are important to society. These are what are important to my company, and I've got to be able to keep all those together, and I have to have them aligned. So framework and alignment become two key things for me when I take a look at ethics and leadership and governance in AI.
My third question is that, the last question, as AI technology evolves, how do you see the role of leadership in ethics and governance changing for the future?
Well, the first thing that I talk about comes back to the first question you asked me. To understand that the world is now going to be driven by data. Data is available to more people than it's ever been before because of the exponential increase in computing power, because we all have these mobile devices in our hands, and because we can get this huge amount of information from anywhere in the world instantly. We need to understand that because we are in this sort of a fishbowl with all this information, the leadership has to take into account that you are now going to be visible to the world. And that visibility means you have a certain obligation to be able to use that data ethically in a way that is going to benefit society. Now that's going to vary by different countries' view of what society is, but if we think about it on a global basis, to me I think you have to have leadership that understands the context of the world we're operating in, that it's hyper-connected, radically contingent, and fast. The second thing you have to understand is that context will change by country. And the third thing you have to understand is we are all connected. If you take a look at, and I urge people to do this, look at the World Economic Forum Global Risk Report, and you can see in there how things are connected, from biodiversity to food problems, to climate problems, and you need to understand the complexity of that. So if I take a look at leadership, I take a look at understanding context, understanding complexity, and being able to make decisions within that framework and alignment that allows you to use this a vast amount of data and communication processes we have to make your business a better place and to hopefully make the world a better place.
How do you see Turkey fitting in this all global AI changing?
I think that's a great question, and I've been coming to Turkey for quite a few years. The company I used to work for has a large office here, and I came here quite often. And one of the things that struck me the first time when I was here, I was standing up at the tower that you could look down into the Golden Horn with, and I was thinking, this is where the world of global trade really started. This is where we had what I call the cross-border splitting of the value chain. And it was right down there in that harbor. I can almost imagine seeing the sailing ships down there. And so when I think about Turkey as an incredible crossroads of, let me call it global trade, that you're a position to take that place of where you sit. I mean, across Asia, across the Dardanelles is a bridge to Asia. Here we're sitting in Europe. And we have two of the largest economies in the world between the European Union and China, and maybe Indochina is a whole area. Turkey can play a unique role with its educational systems to be able to build an understanding of what I call AI for good. Because where you sit, and where we're sitting here in this university, and with the artificial intelligence work you're doing in artificial intelligence engineering, you can begin to take a leadership role across two major continents. And of course, the two major continents are going to be where the growth happens. In fact, the interesting thing that I want you to make here is by mid-2038, there's going to be about 3 billion new consumers in the world. And almost all of them are going to be in the Indo-Pacific region, and you're the gateway to help that. And those consumers are going to be consuming stuff made there, but also consuming things made in the European Union and in North America. And Turkey becomes an interesting information gateway to make a significant amount of that happen.
Sir, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your insights and joining us today. I hope that you can have a great experience over here in Istanbul in Future AI Summit 24.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here today. It's been a pleasure.
The pleasure is ours. We were with Professor Leonard Lane from University of California, Irvine. He shared his thoughts with us. Stay tuned.